Right, it's Thursday morning now. I've got down to Kendal to this micro digger to get a look at it. It's cold and I've had all sorts. The wind's died down thankfully, but it's been snowing, it's been hailing, a bit of rain, and don't be deceived, it's sunny outside but it's cold. So this is my mini digger and it won't start, and the customer's noticed that once he's had it running he switches it off, the glow plug lights are staying on. So yeah, I think I've had this before, and there's a multi-plug under the floor plate over that way that can get a bit of water in, so I'll go and have a look at that first. Right, floor plate's off now and I haven't had a look yet, but in my experience with one of these once before, that plug there can get water in it and it does all sorts of funny things to the machine. So I'll unplug it and have a look, see what we find. There's a bit of corrosion there and I don't know if the camera will pick it up, maybe not, but that plug's full of water. So I'm gonna have to disassemble the plug, pull the pins out, replace any that need replacing, because it's just Deutsch plug. So I'll give it a clean up. Pins are all green, so I've done the nail side. I replaced a couple of pins in there that were a bit rotten, bared the wiring back. I'm going to do the same now with this side. So I think there'll be a couple of pins in there to replace. That's one of the pins that I've managed to save without dropping on the floor and losing it, but you can see it's all corroded up and manky and rusty. So I've replaced about half a dozen of those, and yeah, it just goes to show you, if a plug like that isn't just pushed together right, it lets water in. Water sits in there and just quietly does its damage. Right, I'll put this floor plate back in and give it a whirl. There we go, all sorted now. When I put my multimeter on the old battery, it was only reading 0.6 volts. Obviously it should be around 12, so it was stone dead. I put a fresh battery on it and yeah, that's it, good to go now. So what the customer had noticed when he'd switched the machine off, the glow plug light stayed on, and the glow plugs take an awful lot of current, so it wouldn't take much for it to drain the battery. Right, we'll get packed up and head back up to Carlisle. Thursday afternoon now, and I'm back at the yard, and I've got that DX19 to PDI, just straightforward one. It wants quick hitch and it's to be supplied with a magnetic beacon, so that's good. But my first job is I need to go and commandeer a tractor, put it on that trailer, pull the trailer out, and then either drop the ramps and run it off the ramps or get a telehandler and lift it off. So I'll set you up on the edge of my toolbox and you can see whether or not I managed to lose a digger off the side of the trailer. the digger PDI'd. I've just got a couple of quick release couplings to go on the hammer lines, and I'm just gonna make a holder to hold this bar that you take the buckets on and off with, so nice and straightforward. There we go, I've got a bit of pipe that's a decent length, and put a cap on the bottom of it so we don't lose the bar. Doesn't always have to be over-engineered. Simplicity is a good thing. Hi, it's just after 5 o'clock. I've loaded up with all my bits for tomorrow, so it's worked out nicely finally. Can't get the load and shovel serviced and repaired until after lunch, and I've just had a fella phone in with a 14 tonner. He's working in Kendal, so 2 jobs in Kendal, 14 tonner, 1,000 hour service in the morning, big load and shovel in the afternoon. So I'll see you in the morning, hopefully the weather behaves itself. Hi, Friday morning, and I'm already down South Cumbria. I'm just heading towards my 140 for a service. You've seen a few services on the 14 and 16 tonners, so I'll just do a time lapse of that hopefully. And then I'm gonna go to a stone quarry where there's a 420 shovel to service, and the loader arm is dropping, so I'm gonna get a look at it. Right, I'm here on site. I've turned up just at the wrong time. This wagon's to be unloaded, so it'll be about half an hour before I can get a start. 10 o'clock now, and that wagon is only halfway unloaded. I suppose it's just the nature of the job. You get oh, that's the fuel light on, better switch it off. Right, it's got out nice here now. It's actually fairly warm. I was a bit hot, but no, I didn't get any filming of that. I need to be away at this next job, and he needed another wagon unloaded, so it was a quick turnaround, and it wasn't much time for mucking about. So I'm going to head down to this quarry now. It's just across the town there where you've been looking, so I'll go and get that done. Right, I've made it to this quarry down in Kendal. I've got this 420 to service, and that loader arm there keeps dropping. So what it's to do with is the boom suspension. So as you're going along the quarry, the loader arm floats like that, which takes a lot of the shock out of the chassis and makes it a smoother ride for the driver. So I'm gonna get that valve block changed out. I'll show you where it is. That piece there, that is the valve block that I'm going to change out. So there's 5 pipes, I think, to it, and it could get messy. It's just sort of arm's length, and it weighs about, oh, it weighs a ton, I think. But I'm just loud. So there's the new one ready to go on. So once I've got it fitted, I will service it. Swapped all the fittings over. Now I've just got to put it back into the machine, so it's easier taking it out because gravity's on your side. Getting it back in, it's hard work. Right, so the job of that valve block is to turn the boom suspension on or off, okay? So without the boom suspension, you go over a bump, that ram is essentially locked, so it won't go anywhere. So all that shockwave is going to go through the tyres, through the chassis, and your man is probably going to struggle to stay on the seat. So when you activate the boom suspension, instead of the ram having nowhere to go, that oil is allowed to move into this shock absorber, or accumulator as it's called. So that oil in there hits a big spring, which behind the spring is filled with nitrogen gas, and gas compresses whereas oil doesn't. So the shock goes through that pipe and into that accumulator, which gives it the suspension. The fault that we've got is when you use the boom suspension, it does cushion it, but it slowly lowers the boom like that, and that's due to a fault inside that valve that lets some oil away back to the hydraulic tank. I hope I've made that understandable. It makes sense in my head, but sometimes trying to articulate what goes on in my head can be a bit difficult. Right, obviously there's a lot more that could be the fault for this. So you might have a failed accumulator, you might have failed ram seals. In this case, you might have a false electrical signal that is pushing your boom down spool. So I've done my diagnostics before I turn the camera on, and I am confident that that's what it is, but it doesn't mean to say that that is a common fault, nor is it something that you think, well, that's got so many thousand hours on, that's going to be the fault. So don't use this as a how-to video. There it goes. Job's to peach. So you're just going to go and load a couple of wagons, and then I'm going to get it serviced, and then I'm going to go home and have a good weekend, ideally. So yeah, I'll get this valve emptied of oil, put it in the box and get that sent away, and then yeah, just drop some oils next. Right, I've serviced the engine on the DL to 420. So a quick look around it. This here is your brake pilot filter, and then engine oil filter. This is a Scania DC13, and I think, it's a while since I've known this, I think it's about 460 odd horsepower, so it's a fair beast. Right around the back, we've got, this is a added bit of gear. This is like a parking sensor, if you will. It's like a radar, so anybody walking behind the machine, it sets an alarm off in the cab. And up there you've got a camera. And then round here got two fuel filters, engine oil filler, big air filter, which I'll pull out in a moment or two and clean. But yeah, it's an impressive bit of gear really. So quick little thing about how it works. The engine drives the transmission, and off the transmission you've got a PTO drive which then runs your hydraulic pump, and then the pump oil goes through to the front where your valve chest is. On this model it's electric over hydraulic, so instead of pilot lines operating the spools, you've got solenoids operating the spools. So yeah, I'll show you that one day, I'm sure. But no, they're a fantastic machine, and you can see it's floor to ceiling glass on these ones. So this is a Dash 7, the Dash 5. This used to be a panel, so there was no glass here. And then in the Dash 5, so this is your air conditioning box. On the Dash 5s, that was in behind the seat. And believe me, if you ever had any air conditioning faults, it's pretty much cab strip out job. So similar to the 140 that we did in previous videos. So I'm just sort of ready now to drop the front axle oil out. So like on the final drives, take that out, let the air out. It also acts as your level, so the level will be around there somewhere. Drain it out at the bottom here, and then you've got a bung as well here. This is where your brakes sit, so any brake dust, debris will sit in here. Oh sorry, they'll sit in here, so run each hub out as well. But thankfully you've only got to fill it from here. Each axle takes about, oh, what was it now in the book? Was it 45 litres each? Yeah, because I've got 100 litres with me. So each axle takes 45 litres. Engine oil, that takes 45 litres. So we'll have changed a fair bit of oil by the end of today. Right, I'll set you up and I'll change this axle oil. The axle's draining out now. I'm just going to leave that one running and let that one have a little bit longer to go, just to get all the muck out. And then I'll do the same on that side, and then I'll do the same all the way up at the back. So there we go. That is a that's a 1500 hour service on a 420. Right, I'll catch you when I've finished, and we'll finish up the video. Right, it is 5:10. It's Friday, end of the week, end of the day. It's not been a bad week. I've enjoyed it. Today it's actually felt almost like spring, to be honest with you, once the sun got up, so it's not been too bad. In the previous video I was going to put the rest of that travel motor job into today's video, but I've got a lot more done this last couple of days than I expected, so I'll probably save that until Monday's video. I have had a phone call. There is a chance I might be going to a machine on Monday, but I'm just waiting for the green light on that, so watch this space. Yeah, I'm just trying to get through this traffic. It's a massive one-way system around Kendal and it's not good. Anyway, thanks very much for everybody that's subscribed, and you've got us to 60 subscribers before the weekend, so that is much appreciated and every little helps, so thanks very much again. If you've got any comments or anything you'd like to see in future videos, any suggestions, then put it down in the comments, and as well tell us what you enjoy seeing and I can put a bit more of that into my videos. Yeah, a bit of feedback would be appreciated if you don't mind. So thanks very much again, have a good weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.